Hey there, Ina Malaya. It's great to have you on the red couch today. I feel very honored to talk to you.
It's my pleasure. I'm flattered to hear that, Angie, and thank you for having me on your Red Coach.
Ina, you and I were introduced through a common friend, and we recently even met in person, which was great. So I don't really know a lot about you other than, what I've been reading and what is on LinkedIn. I know you're an amazing professional, but can you maybe share like a little fun fact about yourself before we get into the serious stuff?
Of course, and thank you for asking me that. I'm Ukrainian by origin. I live in Switzerland since 2015. Don't know if many facts, funny facts I can share with you, but what you don't see when you read about my profile or see the websites of the companies I lead, I'm the gardener. I'm actually finishing the interview with you, heading into the weekend, and will take care about my garden. I'm gardening for several reasons because I love it. I grew up in Ukraine in a small village, and this is what I did with my grandparents during summer holidays we spent. This is the sustainable legacy I'm bringing to my kids, so they keep doing it when they grow up, and this is the health of the family because actually with the veggies we are growing, we are feeding the family during the summer. We are fully covered. And on the other side, because I'm managing the companies that promote leadership and new type of authentic leadership, gardening is the mindfulness therapy. I
Uh,
learn there, I release there, and from the mindfulness perspective, I connect with the earth that gives me again the energy for the next week, for the next month, to empower others to do what I do.
well, that's beautiful. And I don't know if you know, but I started container gardening in the pandemic because I couldn't do anything else.
Mhm.
So I really love plants, and my mom also used to, grow things in our gardens when I grew up on the countryside. So I can totally see, how that gives you the energy that you need to do all the work, the amazing work that you do day and night. And yeah, maybe you want to share a bit about your why. And you already mentioned now this is your 10-year anniversary in Switzerland. Amazing. Why are you driven to support leaders and also, through your NGO, support people with capacity building?
So I run two companies, and these both companies are self-created, self-managed, and now I have teams in each. The initial idea of Bevel that you see here was the rise of my new identity when I left the corporate world. In 2019, my company was where I used to work, and why I moved to Switzerland as an international executive was going through the global transformation processes, and I was made redundant.
Ah,
So I had the question in front of myself, what do I do next? And I was honest with myself by evaluating my skills, my capabilities, and I said, oh, I never did entrepreneurship. Is it something that I'm capable to do? Do I have enough of resources and do I have enough of support to try? And this is how I started. And why exactly the leadership side? And initially, there was the B2C company because I was going through the significant change in life. And I was going it with the perspective of a more positive attitude towards what I'm going to do next. I opened the new doors. And I've seen other people that were in the same situation, in the same companies, and I've seen the doors open and they've seen the doors closed. So the insight here was to help the new self-leadership paradigm to flourish while helping people to see the doors open rather than close. And during the time, actually, with the whole the process of the transformation, environmental transformation that was happening around us, I actually launched the company just a month before COVID. So I had to redo it again and again and again and again and again. And this is how it grows me in the resilience space. So today I'm working mainly with international businesses by helping them developing the team development capabilities and team leadership, authentic leadership, etc. So they can become more resilient and they can perform better on the business goals by uniting the team around the common purpose. And in this process of developing Bevel World, the war happened in the beginning of 2022. As I mentioned, I'm Ukrainian, so I shut down all these operations and I focused myself only on the humanitarian challenge we were facing with the Ukrainian refugees. And by that time, my team said, let's do something. We have all the capacities to address this challenge, to help. And in April 2024, when we had enough of Ukrainian refugees in Europe already, we decided to pilot the integration program within, again, Bevel World, the integration program for Ukrainian refugees that today already was scaled up and transformed into separate organization because we didn't want to do it long run. I wanted just to support during short period of time because the whole world hoped that it's a short-term thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we said 3 days, and then we said 3 weeks, and now it's been more than 3 years. So at some point of time with my team, we said we cannot do it just once. This should be running all the time because the inflow of refugees is happening. But then also the insight is that, and Angie, you are working in the career development space, right? You see what's happening with the security on the job. People are losing jobs more and more and more and more. On the latest statistics I've seen during March, April 2020, when the pandemic started, only in Switzerland, 30,000 jobs were completely reshuffled or dismissed because of the change of the workplace attitude and the laws that was happening around, right? In US, because of the digital transformations and different economical developments, even before what is happening now with on the political scene, right? Every month, American citizens faced 1.5 millions of redundancies. That makes 18 million layoffs annually in US. And this is the whole redundancy stuff is not the US thing, it's a global thing because we are going through the climate change, sustainability development that requires new type of skills, a new approach to the way how we build the business and what exactly we do in business. There are different economical developments that force companies to move to the more cheaper locations, and then they have to migrate their stuff, and probably they don't want, or they do the cost cutting because of the rise of the prices and their affordability, etc. So more and more people are going to be without a job. And when we piloted what we do in Bevel ON Association, now we accept international displaced professionals, not only Ukrainians, to help them land into the job or to launch their own adventure.
Well, it sounds like a really useful and needed work that you do there. And I wonder how you're supported financially. Is that through organizations? Do you get like funding? Or do the participants fund themselves? It's an NGO, so do you get any support to do the work?
We've been functioning during 3 years almost. We've been functioning with 0 funds.
Wow.
And this is all about the value creation through the community support and those people who have the unorthodox thinking and the attitude to things, and those people who are authentic and would like to give back. So 2.5 years of the existence of the Bevel ON Association as the NGO who supports displaced professionals, we were acting on 0 budget, on 0 funds. I was supporting from the side of Bevel as the main donor, and then we managed to have our first grant from one of the Swiss foundations who are supporting the causes like ours, but we didn't progress much. We didn't manage by this time to establish sustainable, continuous financial base for the association so we can I can give the promise to my people that they have job tomorrow. We are a little bit on the shaky situation here, and this is the reason how also we reinvent the whole approach to the NGO management, that this is not the organization that, people are coming with the hand, give us money, give us funds, give us donation, donate, 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 donate. And this is the approach. When we were establishing as the organization, I decided to, we decided that we need the office and we need to work, because I have 15 people in the NGO organization working already and contributing. And I said, we need an office where we will meet. And there was one opinion of one of the team members, like, we need something small, really like cheap. It doesn't matter. We are NGO. And I said, no, we will have the best office in the city because we are NGO. And we are changing for the whole paradigm and the perception on how the NGO should look like as the organization. We are in the International Association. We are the biggest NGO supporting through the education displaced professionals in Europe with zero funds. I'm super proud what my team achieved. And I said, you will have the best office. And we have the office in the center of Geneva, in the most central place. And we make the impression that we are growing and successful organization. And we are successful because we drive value. We are not that successful, yes, in terms of finances, but it will come because we are all originally willing to make it happen.
Well, it sounds really amazing. And tell us a bit more about the journey. How did you get to, from where you started to where you are today? And also, what's your outlook for the future?
I can call it the journey of resilience and overcoming the obstacles and challenges, because if you think about, so in terms of historical periods, I left in the corporate world in 2019. I went to study because I clearly understood that I'm lacking certain set of skills that I need for the entrepreneurship to become entrepreneur and a businesswoman and running business alone. So I spent some time to study, and actually I did my studies in London Business School, and this is where we developed Bevel as the concept, as the company together. And the whole idea initially about Bevel was self-leadership retreats for women who are undergoing the change in life.
Okay, yeah.
And I had my peers in London Business School who were watching me developing the business case, and they said, why do you think only women need your support? You are developing fantastic thing. Women, we need that as well. This is why, and this is how I became inclusive. And so I wanted to work with individuals. But the COVID, the pandemic that came 1 month after the business concept was ready and go-to-market strategy was in plan, that actually shut down the whole principle of the business, right? Because there was offline retreats as the product. So I had to change. It was not viable in the market and in terms of execution anymore. And I went back to London Business School and said, we need to redo, guys, sorry. So we redid it, and I ended up with the online coaching business. That was never the idea. And the market was so popular already and so big that to get my share of market was impossible, being alone and new in this market. And I never wanted it. Became too commercial already. And I was growing something in terms of equity, something very authentic, right? And so I had to change again. And I said, B2C market is quite difficult. And I go to B2B. I will talk to businesses on how actually we help people coming after during the post-COVID recovery, going back to the workplaces after remote work, employee engagement, motivation, etc. I said this in January 2022. February 2022. The war started and the businesses were thinking only about how to save people and how to save their money in two countries that are fighting. So then we started the Bevel ON Association as the integration program for Ukrainian refugees that gave, in terms of marketing capabilities, gave high visibility to Bevel as well. And this is when we started developing the B2B business. So by this time, during 3 years, we work with the international businesses, international companies that HQ offices here in Switzerland, and we are providing team building and team development programs for them. And we have started now for other regions as well, not only in Switzerland. In a way, going back to the initial idea of Bevel, how I created it. Now we launched the corporate programs in female empowerments to give the path in the career and personal development, self-leadership development for those women who lack the visibility in the organization but have very strong capacity and potential to lead the organizations.
Fantastic. I applaud you. It sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Do you have a tip for anybody in your shoes? Maybe a younger version of yourself. Let's say, you 20 years ago. What would you advise that younger version of yourself?
To follow her gut feeling.
Good. Yeah.
To trust the intuition. As I'm running two organizations, right? I'm heading them. There is no one higher than me in terms of making the decisions for these particular organizations, right? Of course, I have my doubts. Of course, I sound here on the screen like, yes, I'm fancy. I created two organizations, the biggest NGO in Europe, Bevel providing fantastic programs to the HQ international organizations. Other businesses would be watching and say like, oh, how did she do it? We are with the small businesses here. There are plus and minuses and different sides of the coins on that all. And myself as the owner of and the leader of both organizations, of course, I have my doubts. Of course, it's challenging. Of course, I'm not having the cash flow that, I don't know, I'm not the Bezos or whoever could be in the millionaire. I'm growing. I'm going there, right? But you always, as the leader, you have doubts and you need to do the clear check on yourself of where you are in your mind. Are you out of your mind and you have too big ambitious and then you are losing the sense of reality, or you are where you should be, and more ambitious you are and bigger achievement you can get. And what my team is telling me, we love your vision and the way how far you watch and you stretch us towards that, and they follow and we grow. So here I said, but most probably I can trust that, right? And the business is complicated because you need to, this is about earning. Here is about purpose on the on NGO side. Money, without money, we do beautiful thing, and this is enriching experience. On business, you need to think commercial, right? And to be very sharp in terms of numbers, sales process, business development, the offer you are providing, right? So there you are thinking, okay, am I touching the ground or I'm flying somewhere away and these things should be better managed? And you always cross these passes and you always think, okay, I'm adapting myself. Am I too far? Am I touching the ground? Did I lose my base, right? But what I learned during all that time and my journey is that I learned to trust my intuition, to trust my gut feeling and what I feel here. And when I was 20 years younger, I would not allow myself. But even at that point of time, I had my birthday a few weeks ago, and I received the congratulations from someone who is very dear to me. This is one of my best friends, part of the family, and we were at school together. And I announced him something, and he said, wow, are you sure? And I said, yes. And he said, I know you from the age we were 14 years old at school. And I was particularly amazed by the decisions you were making by your own self in life. And all of those were very big, very courageous decisions, and they were all proven to be right. So if you are telling me now this, that you are making this decision, most probably knowing you for so many years, you are making again a very right decision that will help you grow. So we do the retrospective back and we were thinking like at that point of time we were more rational, and now we can trust the experience we have, trust the gut feeling we have. If I knew it before, well, it would not change, right? But now, being smarter and more mature, I trust my professional experience, but I trust my gut feeling and what I sense when I see someone or I'm starting something.
I got goosebumps now. Oh, this is great, really good to hear. And I think, intuition also comes from having experience. So a younger person, probably has some also ideas about the path. But then, at a certain age, there's also the gut feeling and the intuition that is driven also by experience. So it's like, a lot of data that we already have that guides us. And sometimes, maybe for the outsiders, it's not so clear why we're saying something or why we're taking a certain decision in a certain direction. But in hindsight, it's often the best thing is the things, that we did out of our intuition. I completely agree with you. And I commend you for being on this journey and also, being so ambitious and excited about growing and continuing to grow. And yeah, sometimes as entrepreneurs, there's a lot of advice that we get left and right. And it's sometimes really hard to distinguish what is like good advice and what is bad advice. And, to still listen to your own voice, like your own inner voice. So I think that's really, really also good advice for our listeners. I'm a lecturer in the world of global mobility, and one of the questions I have for you, as somebody who's been traveling around the world, been in different places, moved into Switzerland as a foreigner, but also, with all the intercultural and international experience you bring to the table, what do you think professionals in the what is now called the field of people and culture, used to be called human resources, with that specific aspect of global mobility, international recruiting, capability building, we have these like jobs and organizations, but what do you think in the education that they need to understand better, learn more? Where do you feel like HR professionals have blindfolds these days?
Um, I would add here another factor that drives the development of different organizations where HR or people and culture professionals have the key role is the global transformations and reorganizations. In both aspects, on the global mobility and the organizational restructuring, PNC has particular role in managing that, where what they most often what I see while we were working with different companies, what they forget is that the mobility and the transformation reorganization, they are not about just moving people. These things are about breaking human relations. That requires, while you understand that requires a significantly different approach to things on how you manage it from the PNC side. When you move expats to other locations, you are breaking the relations they've been already building in their current location or at their home location.
Mm-hmm.
They need to give up on the careers and they need to give up on people they used to speak oftenly, they value them a lot, and they were their support and cheerful moments. Right? So the whole approach of the mobility should be enhanced by the way on how, by moving people around, you can also make sure that they don't lose this sense of belonging in the new location, and you give them the opportunity to create the new network and to understand the cultural codes that help them create new network in a new location very quickly. For instance, we are working in Bevel ON Association. We are working with the mobility, global mobility teams, relocations teams, comms and band teams, where we are actually inviting the expatriate migrants and the spouses of the professionals that are moving to join the Bevel ON capacity building programs, because this is what we are doing. The displaced professional, this is the person who've been here, who moved here or been refugee and experienced forced displacement. They have the same thing. They need to rebuild career and they need to get the sense of belonging into the new countries through understanding the cultural codes and building new relations. That's very easy. In terms of transformations, this is the similar thing. We are breaking the relations with those people who were working on a daily basis in the office, drinking coffee, doing lunch runs, whatever, going afterwards, and it hurts. So is the role of PNC only about creating the new headcounts or minimizing the headcounts and moving the things around on the global map for the relocation, mobility, and transformation? No. It's the matter. You are about people and culture. And this is the matter how you make sure that these changes are happening in the most empathetic, compassionate, and supportive way, human to human.
You mentioned earlier also, outsourcing, offshoring. We have in these kind of transformation processes, 20 years ago, we just cared about numbers. Human interaction was not part of the business case. And I think we're suffering from these decisions now. So in terms of building professional relationships, maintaining professional relationships, do you have a favorite way for yourself to do that?
Well, I'm doing it on a daily basis. That became the habit. When I was leaving my corporate world, my insight was that 90% of people who I used to work and build friendship with, they will remain in that building that I'm living, right? So I started doing it in advance when I knew that most probably I will be made redundant. So I joined different clubs, networks, I contributed, I gave back, I was present. And that created the very healthy habit on being very open to meet new people. So when I go networking somewhere, either it's offline or online, I do equally both. I have the hybrid approach to networking. The rule that I have, and I would recommend to everyone who is listening and watching to this video now, you should complete the networking session. Let's say this is the event with at least one lunch or coffee booked for the next couple of days. If you just went and showed your face and stand in the corner, didn't build a communication with anyone, it's not networking. It's moving your body from your house or office to somewhere where there are other people.
Yeah,
Not
I
networking.
agree. I agree. Yeah, I teach my clients to do like a weekly lunch appointment with somebody that they don't know. Awesome. Very good. We need to have lunch, by the way. Tell me when you're in Zurich next time. Um, do you have anything coming up, like a great event that you want to tell our listeners?
We do. For those who are in Switzerland, we run in Geneva and in Zurich on a monthly basis. We run networking educational, I call it edutainment events, where there are possibilities to meet for those people who are part of our Bevel ON capacity building programs and external people. We have the huge support system in Bevel ON. This is the whole concept of the association and how we manage it, because we have supporters, we have mentors, we have coaches, we have trainers, we have corporate partners, public sector partners, and more than 200 graduates already since the time we started. So when we meet, there is always cheerful atmosphere, there is something to learn, and we bring inspirational speakers who are talking. So the next event in Geneva, we are holding in the city center on 29th of April. You can see the event announcement of Bevel.world website. Everyone is welcome there to join, to network and to learn. We will be actually talking about the networking strategy on how to do it effectively. And another event we will have on 20th of May in Zurich with one of our corporate partners for Bevel ON Association, where we will be learning digital marketing and artificial intelligence for the different aspects of life. And we run on bi-weekly basis free, open, online learning sessions. And you can see all the announcement in LinkedIn on Bevel ON Association page, where you can join if you miss anything and you need to gain new knowledge on how to navigate job market, how to build a business, how to improve the self-confidence, self-leadership. You are most welcome. We make it open as the part of our mission to provide high quality of education to underprivileged or vulnerable communities that unfortunately face the difficult conditions now and require support. We have it. It doesn't cost us anything. We created the whole mission around that. So to help, to give back, and give you the sense of belonging and the spirit that you can do it.
Also, that's amazing. And we're going to link to those two events as well in our show notes. Ina, it was a great pleasure to talk to you in a bit more detail. I'm so glad we met, and I look forward to having lunch with you at some stage. And all the best to you. You're just a global rock star for me.
Thank you so much. I'm flattered to share with you today the story I've built. I speak confidently about that because this is the everyday of it. I lived myself and was overcoming the obstacles. And if that energy and that story could help someone who is watching it now by overcoming your obstacles, please take it all. And if you need a little bit more, you know where to find us with Angie. And I'm grateful that you invited me to your red sofa, and that I was able to share the wisdom and insights of my experience.
Fantastic. Have a great time ahead.
You too.
I look forward to seeing you again.
Likewise. Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
Angie. Bye.